What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel today. Today's topic is going to be some players I am looking to sell if I am not an elite contender in my Dynasty league. A lot of Dynasty depends on where you're at in the standings. Do you have a realistic chance for the bye in your league, etc.? So some advice may not be one size fits all, but I do stand behind these evaluations and what I am basing them on, which is watching all of the film from all of the games. Thank you guys for coming to the channel. Hit like, hit subscribe if you haven't been before. I really appreciate you joining me. So the first player I want to talk about selling today is going to be a running back, and that's going to be Jonathon Taylor. Now, Jonathon Taylor is a great player. He's a great running back. He's currently RB8 on Keep Trade Cut, which is very high, top 10 Dynasty running back. I have him in my ranks in a similar range as well. But for me, unless you are an elite contender, I think there are some trades you could use with Jonathon Taylor where you're going to gain value and kind of retool your team. You don't always have to think about fully rebuilding and selling the ship and getting rid of everything on your team. But I think Jonathon Taylor just doesn't bring that elite upside. He's getting a little older. So the trade that I'm suggesting here is going to be trading Jonathon Taylor away. And we're going to get a 25 late first, assuming you're trading Taylor to a contender of some sort, and Ramondre Stevenson. So we're tearing down, but Stevenson's been scoring points. He's still going to be on an ascending team in New England next year. And we get the first round pick on top of that to add another piece to our team, or draft another running back, or use that first round pick to tier up and get a stud at wide receiver or something, right? I just think this is the right value move. I don't really see Taylor going up in value in the remainder of his career. A lot of people are just anti-age when it comes to Dynasty, so I'm really not too concerned with that. Now, moving on to the next guy I want to talk about is going to be another running back. It's going to be James Cook. Now, same thing with Cook compared to Jonathon Taylor, right? James Cook having a great year. I like having James Cook on my team if I'm a contender, a competitive team. If I'm in the middle or I'm rebuilding, now's the time to move James Cook, right? Biggest thing for me is I really do like Ray Davis. I think he's going to get some more touches to end this year. He's still obviously on that team for the next 3 years on that rookie deal. So I think he's going to get worked into the offense. I don't know if James Cook's going to go up in value. So I think this may kind of be the peak for James Cook. So if you're not using him to win a title this year, I think the time is now to move off of James Cook. The guy I'm suggesting trading James Cook away for is going to be Rome Odunze, right? Still a top 10 wide receiver from the NFL draft last year. Still has the potential to be a great dynasty asset once the Bears kind of get their stuff together. Rome Odunze has the talent. I think Caleb needs to improve. I think they need an offensive coach there. I think they need to fix the line. Obviously some steps. But Odunze has showed flashes this year, so I like the upside that he potentially brings to your dynasty team. Next guy I'm going to be talking about is moving away a wide receiver, and that's going to be Christian Watson. This is someone I've never really truly been in love with much. But for me, it's just there's a lot of weapons there in Green Bay, and I don't really see Ben healthy this year. And he's still just getting outplayed by Jaden Reed, outplayed by Tucker Kraft, outplayed by Josh Jacobs, sometimes outplayed by Tontavian Wicks, outplayed by Romeo Doubs. I mean, that's a lot of guys. And so for me, I feel comfortable moving Christian Watson, gain a second-round pick on my team next year to either just draft another wide receiver for some depth, like maybe sell that pick at peak value during the draft or something. But I'm just out on Christian Watson. I don't really know if he goes up in value from here. He's just too unreliable for me. I'd rather just take the pick and move on with my life, personally. Next one is going to be selling away a running back. Selling running backs, if you're not a contender, seems to be the easiest move to make. And in general, it's just because running backs have a lower and less long shelf life. So the guy I'm talking about today is going to be Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby, a good player, not a great player, seems to have a role on this current team. But Jacksonville, Etienne's probably still going to be there next year. It's going to be muddy. I don't really think Tank Bigsby excels at anything. So for me, I'm comfortable moving Tank Bigsby. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Tank Bigsby, package in Gardner Minshew, see if we can go get Chris Godwin. I want to use Tank Bigsby and something to see if I can get Chris Godwin onto my team, a hurt wide receiver, someone I would like to attack, get onto my roster this summer. As his value grows for next season, he's going to be back, he's going to be playing well, and he's still going to be an elite weapon in that Tampa Bay offense for a couple years with Baker Mayfield. So I love this trade. Now, the last guy I'm going to talk about, I think you could substitute in 4 or 5 names for this player, but I'm just going to use him as an example. So the guy I'm going to say is Cooper Rush. Now, Cooper Rush, right, he's just going to be getting a little small stint here for the Cowboys with Dak on potentially IR. But I think for Cooper Rush, you can input a lot of different names in here. Gardner Minshew, like I mentioned in the last trade. Mason Rudolph, Will Levis. These guys that are getting some spot starts but really have no long-term value. Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco, etc., right? I like these guys. I don't hate them for this year if you're contending and need a piece. But in general, if you're a rebuilder, get these guys off your roster. What I'm suggesting for Cooper, the guy that has Dak, go to someone that needs a quarterback. Offer them Minshew, Rush, Levis, Jameis Winston, etc. It's time to move on. Gain that small value for your team. Be able to use those picks this summer to manipulate the draft, get some guys in free agency, etc. These kind of moves are ones that many dynasty owners are way too tentative on. Moving the Cooper Rushes, moving the Justice Hills, etc. Get these guys off the bottom of your roster. Take the third, take the fourth, move on with your life. Picks always have value to toss onto trades to get them done or to move up in the draft to select the guy you want. It matters more than you think. Don't hold on to these guys that really don't have that long-term value. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Go sell these guys in Dynasty today, and I'll catch you later this week for Flex Friday.